In this week's video, I go to Świnoujście. It is the most northwestern point in Poland, right on the border of Germany. It's an island, or a kind of series of islands. I think there are something like 24 in total, but we just focus on a couple of main ones. And of course, it's a big beach resort. There are lots of things about boats, about forts, about beaches, lighthouses, windmills. It's actually a pretty impressive place. You can tell that it's got a fair bit of money with all the German tourists coming in because it's pretty fancy, looks really nice. So we're going to take you through what there is to see there, and we're going to tell you a bit about the history, and I hope you enjoy. Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. With this channel, I travel across the country, I bring you the culture, and I show you just how amazing Poland is. So I invite you on my journey. If you want to see more, I have Facebook and Instagram profiles, which you will find links to in the description below. And if you want to really help out, you can turn to my Patreon or Patronite accounts, again in the description. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Do zobaczenia. So Świnoujście is in the northwest, or Zachodniopomorskie, or Western Pomerania. This is a rough guide to how I explored it. It may be a little bit opposite in the video, just to give a bit more context. But the road to Świnoujście isn't a road at all, but a waterway. From Szczecin, the river Odra winds north, carrying us through the lagoon until the Baltic opens ahead. It feels fitting because Świnoujście itself is a city made of water, spread across 44 islands, not 24 as I said in the introduction. It's connected by ferries and bridges, and it's the only Polish city that stretches across so many shores. And you could even walk right up to the German border. In fact, some of our colleagues decided to step over the German border. So it has a population of around 39,000, and it was originally settled by fishermen and traders between the 12th and 18th centuries. And it was eventually made into a town in 1748 and called Świnoujście, which means the mouth of the Świna River. It was founded by Prussia as a naval outpost and trading port, and for 2 centuries it served first the Prussians, then the German Empire, as both a fortified port and a spa resort for Europe's elite. In March 1945, the city was shattered by one of the war's deadliest bombings, where around 23,000 people were killed. And it was then captured by the Red Army and absorbed into post-war Poland. The Germans were expelled, any Poles were resettled, and the Soviets entrenched themselves. Świnoujście became a border town under new flags, and yet, even though through war and upheaval, the sea remained its lifeline. It finally came to Poland in 1957, settled by peoples from central Poland and those resettled from the Ukraine/Belarus territories that Poland lost. And today, ferries sail to Sweden and Germany. The spa traditions live on, and the city's forts and promenades stand as a reminder of a place forever shaped by the tide of history. And at its centre, Świnoujście looks like many Polish towns, shops, squares, cafes. Yet even here, the layers of history show. This was once Świnoujście, a prized Prussian port. The town hall, built in the mid-19th century, was originally the seat of German municipal power. Today it houses the Museum of the Sea Fishery, a reminder of the deep bond between the city and the sea. Sadly, I didn't have time to see it. This is Andrzej Kaube, and he was a beloved local street musician.
He was known for wandering the promenades and seafront with his guitar, playing for tourists and locals. And a short walk leads into the green calm of Park Zdrojowy, designed in the early 1800s by Peter Josef Lerner, the famous Prussian landscape architect. It was part of Świnoujście's life as a spa town, and here German aristocrats once strolled between mineral baths, convinced the sea air could cure all ills. The promenades remain shaded and elegant, linking the old spa houses to the seaside beyond. And the park itself, it's nice. As you can see, it's fairly extensive. It was a nice little walk and a bit of shade in the summer heat. And you see a few monuments like the White Eagle here, which are pretty cool. So you have the Lutheran church. So Świnoujście's churches tell the same story as its streets, of shifting borders and changing identities. The former Lutheran garrison church, built for German soldiers before the war, now serves as the Catholic Church of Our Lady Stella Maris. Its spire still rises proudly above the city, a reminder of how places endure even as nations change. And you can go to the top of that church, though it seemed to be under renovation, or at least closed when we were there. And yeah, we're just going for another park with a very interesting playground, which to me just stood out. So I just felt, okay, I had to capture that one. But we're slowly heading to the promenade, which is awesome. Here's, I think, like a local music arena, which is tightly locked up. And as you can see, it's a very touristy place. So here's one of the different tourist buses you see. You see a lot of these kind of beautiful villas. And finally, we get to the promenade, which stretches a good long while. And you can see is very clean, like most of Poland. So we start with this kind of, damn it, I always forget the name. But it's, kind of like salt water. It's very relaxing. Breathe deeply, sit down, relax. And you have all these interesting kind of monuments. And actually, what you get to is this water clock. So among the promenade's curiosities is a clock powered not by gears but by water. Installed in 2010, the water clock marks time as fluidly as the tide itself. A reminder that here in Świnoujście, life has always flowed with the rhythm of the sea. Very poetic. Here is another museum which just looked cool. But sadly didn't have time. I was kind of rushing through the city. Definitely I have a few things I would go back for on a future trip. But as you can see, it's very tranquil. It was very calm. Even this was like in June, I think, over the bank holiday, and it wasn't insanely crowded. I think if you went in July or August, it might be a little bit more intense. But I love these little kind of, well, are they monuments? Are they plants? A bit of both, I guess. But, there was certainly a very pleasant walk to enjoy while you're going through. And it's less about architecture and more about just the open space and, the greenery. Yeah, I mean, this city in general just had a very pleasant feel, like a very welcoming feel. And I, for sure would definitely, not say no to returning here and perhaps spending a slightly longer spell relaxing. Now, of course, it's touristy, so you have the characteristic upside down house. So I think the closest one to here is probably in Kołobrzeg, where I went a few years back. And you see these dotted in a few particularly coastal places, but they have one in Zakopane as well. And, they're a slightly overpriced novelty. More for children, but still, I'm a bit of a child at heart, so I had to take this in because, it's novel. I thought it would look cool on the video. Maybe you're not so excited by such things. But as you can see, the promenade, it stretches on for a while. And even though I've included a lot of footage of it, actually I cut quite a few scenes because I was worried about it being repetitive. I think this might be there is a multimedia fountain. I'm not sure if it's that one. So one that like changes colours in the night, and then you get quite a few restaurants. You have this, pretty unique statue. I had ChatGPT trying to claim that there was a statue of Poseidon here. I'm starting to think that ChatGPT is seeing into parallel universes sometimes. And as you can see, like just really big like resorts. Maybe this is the multimeter. I don't know which multimeter fountain it was. I think I would have to be here at night for sure. But yeah, just look at the architecture. It looks like super modern. You can see that a lot of money goes into this place, and you could feel that. But the true soul of Świnoujście lies on the shore. Here are some of the widest beaches in the Baltic, and 10 kilometers of golden sand, which have drawn holiday makers since the 19th century. The most famous landmark is the Stawa Młyny, which we'll get to in a moment. It's a white windmill-shaped beacon built in 1873, which has been guiding ships safely into port. And just beyond, you have the lighthouse, which we'll get to as well. But there are a lot of seashells on this beach, and a lot of people. Actually, I think all the people were kind of clustered. And yeah, this is the mill here. It's pretty impressive, actually. I don't think you can go inside, but it stands as a rather like impressive and noticeable monument on the seafront. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's 10 meters high, and it was built to be visible, so people could spot it in any weather. And here's one of the many like tourist boats that will take you out into the Baltic for an hour or so. I didn't indulge this time. This is the lighthouse, and this was unfortunately I couldn't get up close to it. So you're going to see glinting images of it in the distance on a few of these clips. But the lighthouse, it was built in 1857, and it was still Świnoujście at that time. It rises for 68 meters, and it is the tallest lighthouse in Poland and the tallest brick lighthouse in the world. In the wartime, it was battered by bombs, yet rebuilt and still shining today. The problem with the lighthouse is to get there, you have to take a ferry, and it only seems to go 2 times a day. We missed the first one, and the second one was too late in the day for us. But it has 308 steps to go to the top, and a museum. But we're going to go to the forts. So this is the Western Fort, built in 1861. Its bastions and casemates once bristled with Prussian guns. Later, it was taken over by German and Soviet forces, and for over a century, it was closed to civilians. But today's visitors can explore its underground passages, climb its ramparts, and imagine what it meant to stand guard over one of the Baltic's most strategic harbours. And it even had this cool climbing wall, though there was the sign not to use the climbing wall. It's a very vertical scope, and without the correct harness, I would probably break a leg going up there. I used to do a bit of climbing before COVID, and it's something I miss, actually. But it's quite extensive. You can spend a minimum half an hour here, because not only do you have all these cool buildings to go through, but there is a museum as well, which shows some of the like missiles and guns and uniforms. And there's a view of the lighthouse again in the distance. Yeah, try and focus on the lighthouse. I wish I was able to get over there. It would have made this video feel a little bit more complete, but at least you can see what it looks like. But yeah, so some torpedoes, some, cool, like fort-like roofs and architecture. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So there are all kinds of fortifications and ruins. This was another tower, some pillboxes, and we're going to get to a gate as well in a minute. Yeah, so this, it's just lots and lots of forts. And actually we're going to end up on the next fort, which is the Aniola Fort, or the Angels Fort. And this was built in 1861. Its bastions and casemates... wrong one. This was built in the 1850s by Prussia, and its round form was modelled after Castel Sant'Angelo in Rome. And from here, artillery once guarded the river mouth, and later the fort served the Germans, Soviets and Poles in turn. Today, it is reborn as a museum and a cultural space, a fortress of war transformed into a stage for history and art. And it doesn't cost that much to enter, and you have a few stairs to get to the top, a few exhibits. It's the closest I think the city gets to an amber museum, because there are quite a few little amber exhibits in there, as well as crockery and pieces of art, basically. And then when you get right to the top, you get some a classic furniture, and then you get to this little viewing port. But to be honest, with all the trees surrounding it, you don't get the best of views, but it is still a pretty cool fort, pretty cool wonder. And there was an exhibit of some tanks, which was an added bonus at the time we were there. And we did make a mistake because we tried to get to the lighthouse on foot by taking one of the ferries over to the other side. Turns out we took the wrong ferry. And so you have the specific dedicated ferry to get to the lighthouse. And then you have the general ferry, which just takes you over to, the next island, which is best to go to if you have a bike with you, as you see a lot of bikers. Because that's when you're on Volin Island and you have the nature reserve there, which is pretty expansive. And I went to Volin before. It's a lovely place, but didn't get to see the proper nature, because you need a bike, really, or a car to enjoy that. But anyway, so we're getting to the end. These are just a few images from across the way. But Świnoujście, it's a city of many identities, a spa town, a holiday resort, a fortress, border port. To walk its streets is to cross centuries of shifting power, Prussian, German, Soviet and Polish, and yet today, as the sun sets over the Baltic, it feels simply like a city at peace with its place between land and sea, past and present. Thank you for watching. Do zobaczenia. Please like and subscribe.